We do indeed. We have comms and rain in the same breath. Now the rain is starting to fall down on Cheetah Plains in a great downpour. It's about 2 drops. But we do have a lovely surprise for you in a tree. Hello, Mr. Q. Long time no see. There's some impala that he's looking at as well. Oh, Brian, that is... Can you see him there? Forward a bit. We'll be okay. Back a bit. Hello, photogenic leopard. How's that? Perfect. Those eyes. There we go. For our new viewers, the son of Karula, who is now just over 4 years old and has already essentially established himself a territory here, I would say. He's been seen mating with Nkanyeni, who of course is a mystery leopard to me. He's been seen mating with an Nkanyeni. He did actually have a little bit of a brawl with his older brother, and now seems to be relatively well established in this area. I'm a bit nervous of changing direction, Brian, in case we don't have comms with final control again. Perhaps, where's he going to put his head? Let's see where he puts his head first, and then we'll do some shuffling around. And glancing around. Now this sort of weather is ideal for big cat sightings. Karula didn't want to do too much this morning, and when I was listening to the other vehicles who were still with her, apparently she was still fast asleep on the branch. Ouch. My eardrum did not appreciate that, sorry. Hold on. Let me turn this down. There we go. Much better. And just an update on the Nkumas. Apparently they are on Simbambili. I don't know if perhaps Brent would kindly pass that message on to Rexon from where he is in the tent. I can't at the moment, but it sounds as though the Nkumas are on Simbambili. So they have not yet crossed back into Djuma. I know Rexon was asking earlier. Okay. I'm scared to go reposition because I know we don't have comms around that side of the tree. It seems to be entirely directional based. If I'm facing north-south, if I'm aligned north-south, I don't hear anything. If I'm vaguely east-west, I seem to be okay. Which unfortunately is not where Quarantine has placed himself. Alright, let's risk it. Let's go round the corner a little bit, and then if we don't hear anything from Lou, then we'll know we'll have to go back again. Otherwise, we can't answer all those questions that are flooding in on hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. So far, so good, Lou. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. Ooh. Hello.
The only branch on this tree on this side.
Wo ist der Leopard? So.
Warte. Oh. Ich geh vor. Kommt gleich zu mir. Genau. Keine Milch. Damn.
So 3 hours. Hunting time.
Hey guys.
What? Let it come. He's got it. Has he got one?
Yeah, he's got him.
Oh, he's not baby one.
They've got one. I think so. The male.
They're chasing the
It's okay. Oh, okay, he didn't get it.
baby.
The other guys don't see it.
There he comes. Go.
Frank, come back, eh? This Madora has got a mampimpan here by the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, he's coming down to the bridge with the mampimpan in his mouth.
See those paws of these.
Welcome everyone! My name is Ali and I'm super excited this morning. I've got Ferg on camera with me today who's also very happy. I'm excited too. We had male lion roaring pretty much in our camp yet again, but this morning we managed to find it. So if you've got any comments or questions, please do feel free to post them using the hashtag Safari Live. And we've just gone around the dam because it seems like he's gonna come down for a drink. Oh, look at that. Yes. think I'm gonna go forward just because there is another person that also wants to come and have a look. But isn't this the best way of waking up on a Monday? Oh my goodness. Wow. Awesome. Beautiful boy. Now, I'm not too sure which one of the b-boys this is because I keep seeing different ones, and this one now has a very big gash on his eye. So if you guys can let us know, if I think maybe I want to say Nena because it's one of the ones that I haven't seen, but if you guys think I'm mistaken, please do let me know which one of the Birmingham boys this is using the hashtag Safari Live. So I'm starting to learn them all. And he's been roaring quite loudly for the last, I would say maybe 10-15 minutes, so fingers crossed once he's drank some water he'll carry on doing exactly that, because there is no sound, I think, that is just as magnificent as a male lion roaring next to us. I was so happy when I heard him roar this morning. I think Tristan was laughing at me. Alright, let's go over to Tristan, who's very happy to be back and wants to say hello to everyone, and we will keep up with this beautiful male.
Young bulls up against the Ballonite tree, a green form, torch with it, go by many different names. You're not going to push that over. I think you're still a little bit too small. I reckon they're not even 20 years old yet. One of the next is slightly older. He must be about 18 years old. One of the riders.
found. Did you find a piece? They look for the abandoned.
often you'll find that because they're shallow, sort of time to move away from them. And there you can see they are contentedly ruminating. And I have a question that, Kirst, I'm going to pass through you, while we're watching these buffalo, just out of curiosity, because otherwise it determines where I'm going to go from here. Can Tristan let me know where those wild dogs came from? I would ask him on the game drive radio, but they've just found cheetah on Buffelshoek, so I'm not going to get a word in edgeways. But if we could find out where they came from, otherwise there's tracks here that could be quite fresh, which makes for an exciting afternoon. Okay, interesting, very interesting. Thank you, Kirst. Apparently Tristan says the east. I'm up at Quarry Pan and I've got their tracks coming in here. I suspect the same pack, but you never know. What do you think? You two look like bookends. Don't you think they look like really appropriate bookends? An Earth Day bookend. Facing opposite directions. Apparently you're all very excited to see buffalo. I'm actually quite excited as well. It really has been so long since we last saw them. They are, of course, I don't suppose they realize it, but they are in the place where, when I first started working here, one of their companions or compatriots, I'm not quite sure whether it would have had any connection to these buffalo bulls, but when another buffalo lost its life to the Nkuhumas, back in the day when Junior was still around. That's not something they have to worry too much about at the moment, though, because the lions are very far away from here. Oh, you can just see his tongue poking out as the bolus comes back into his mouth, chewing contentedly away. Tanis, you want to know, speaking about how dangerous a sight it can be, stumbling upon such peaceful buffalo, you want to know how fast can the buffalo get out of the mud wallow, do I think? The best way to show you, or to demonstrate, would be to actually show you, but I won't do that because they're so peaceful and I don't want to disturb them at all, but that would be to get out of the car. You would not believe the speed with which these creatures can move. They look big and heavy and bulky, but they are phenomenally fast, even when they're in thick mud like this, and their turn of speed always astounds me. Even when they look like this chap, like he's dozing away. And if you think about it, it makes sense. If buffalo couldn't get out of the mud wallows quickly, the lions would spend a lot more time hunting them while they're in the mud wallows, because it would just make life so much easier. And you'd find that buffalo would spend less and less time in mud wallows if it completely disadvantaged them. But they do move very, very rapidly. It always astounds me, the speed with which buffalo can move. Having been chased a few times, I know Taylor's been chased a few times. Oh, hello boy. Yes, I'm talking about you and your grumpy nature. Having a bit of a horn rub in the mud before sitting up again. I know that Bushwalk definitely wouldn't want to encounter these buffalo, but what they found is something that arachnophobes wouldn't want to encounter either.
Indeed, Jamie, and the only reason we found
Often
this...
have a few siestas, normally first thing or just before the sun has risen, you'll see them sleeping in, and because I think it was a bit chilly today, they've decided to stay a little bit seated for a little bit longer. And there's a nice dam close by. They can go and have a couple of drinks of water, eat all the grass, and then by the time 12 o'clock comes, it's siesta time again, and they'll find themselves a nice shady spot. So like I said, not uncommon for these guys to be sitting around and relaxing. But also see, look how they've strategically are sitting in the same spot. Some facing towards us, others looking towards the west, towards the south, towards the north. Just keeping each other's backs, and it's very, very important when you are sitting down in a herd, because you're at a disadvantage now. You can't see as far because you're well lower down in the grass, but it's good that you've got different members of a herd facing different directions so that you can hopefully spot a lion coming towards them. Though it's a pity there are no lions here, because it would be a great opportunity for them. The long grass, the very still day, and the soft breeze. I think the lions would have a great chance at catching a buffalo, but sadly no cats for us just yet. This is the biggest herd I think I've seen since I've been here at Wild Earth. There must be about, I guess at about 50, maybe 60 buffalo. Like I said, it is difficult for you to see because they are sitting in the grass, and there are quite a few of them even behind one of the shrubs that is sort of limiting our view at the moment. This herd is made up of many, many different members, from female to males, of course, to little ones to juveniles. Lots of dominant bulls in this herd that they fight amongst each other for mating rights with the females. And that's something also that's quite impressive, is to see two buffalo bulls bashing heads. It's almost like a gunshot when they do clash heads, those massive bosses, which will help protect them. It's like a helmet, really. My goodness, there's a couple of them that are really, they've just decided, no, we're not doing anything. A couple of them in the line completely flat on their sides, which is very risky to go into a deep sleep when you are something like a buffalo high up on the lion's menu. And of course, all the oxpeckers you can see flying from bovid to bovid. And now, if we were able to get closer, it would actually be quite nice. I'm sure there would be some yellow-billed oxpeckers. Stephen, you've said, is this the first breeding herd to return? Possibly. I think they've come in from the Kruger, and they've just moved through Cheetah Plains and then popped on to MalaMala. Perhaps they'll come back this afternoon. You know, you never know with breeding herds. There are lots of lions that linger in MalaMala, so if they do push further north, these buffalo will just come racing on back to this side, which would be quite nice to perhaps come and have a look at this afternoon. You never know what plans might change in the bush.
that's making reference to actually their wide mouths. White rhinos, very bad eyesight though, and that's what's making them such a very easy target for poaching. From this distance to here, they really do not even see us. We are just a blur. Sharper eyes though, take a look up to the right here and see if you notice the scimitar horned oryx.
That's amazing.
Up through the bush.
Forward a little bit. That's the first baby impala. That's a good omen for today. Let's try and get another view of them. Got him through the gap. There he is. Hello, little one. That is the first baby impala of the season. Born overnight. Let me just try to find the gap through there. Sticking close to mom. Oh, so cute. Their legs always look too long for their bodies. Oh, into the gap. Absolutely wonderful. Now we're not gonna sort of.
Who is in the garden? A very sexy, shapy girl. Filet, Mr. Songs. Hey, money. Feel it, yeah. Baby, feel it, yeah. Wow. Feel it, yeah. That's my baby, feel it, yeah. Feel it, yeah. My baby, feel it, yeah. Wow. Feel it, yeah. My baby, feel it, yeah. Africa.
This is possibly the most single-handedly amazing something I've ever had. It's a sound. It seems as though this has been by just deciding whether or not she's going to go in and go to sleep. However, this little piglet that she's got is suckling. I've never in my life seen a warthog piglet suckle before. And we are close.
back in a jiffy.
She's being very, very still. And like I said, I can't see what she's doing with her face at the moment. But isn't this adorable? Here she goes. Come on, little piggy. And I think that this little piglet is exhausted. Look at those big weary eyes. Come on, Mom, go inside. I just want to go to sleep. Looks like it's definitely done for the day. Hey? 2 peas in a pod with their bums in the air like that. Here she turns around again. I don't know what she's doing. She doesn't have any dirt on her snout, but you can see that she's got fresh patch. Both of them have got their little worn knees. Look at that. Even the little one's starting to get the calluses, like the adults do, because they don't have them when they're first born. They sort of develop that. She's walking right past the vehicle. Oh, little piggy. Now I'm wondering if she's not just a bit nervous that we're here, and that's why she's not going to go in, but she's grazing now. Maybe making use of the last bit of light. And it seems as though she's just got the one little piglet. Now, Elani, you were wondering if warthogs take mud baths. They absolutely love mud baths. And it's so good for them because it helps keep them nice and cool. Warthogs get very hot like the buffalo do. So they'll roll around in that. But they also get covered in parasites. So the ticks and mites and fleas, especially from living in burrows like they do. We'll see if we can get another view of them. So that helps suffocate all those ectoparasites. Always get a little bit jumpy when you start up. We'll try and sneak around, but they could have run away by now. Please don't go, little piggies. Oh no, there they are. And you can see that little one is so curious as to what we are. Hello. Isn't this wonderful? It really is not every day that you get to even just see a mother and her piglet that are so calm and relaxed with the vehicles. And this is fantastic. And off they go again. They're probably going to go into their burrow now. I'm not going to go back and disturb them anymore. But very kind that she just let us observe like that. So we'll keep it as a positive interaction.
Warthog, despite what I was led to believe, this warthog is full of the joys of spring. Ears out, blinking eyes. It's absolutely fine. It's just having a lie-in this morning. Remember how we spoke about animals waking up and on cool, cloudy mornings they like to have a lazy start to their day? Well, I think this warthog is just having a lazy start to his. But it does give us a really lovely opportunity to examine him. They don't often sit still for this long, do they, Brian? No. This is amazing. Well, I mean, it's amazing. It's also quite sad because it means that Gwen has moved. And I don't know how on earth we're going to find her again unless she moves to a den with the rest of the clan. Did you boot the hyena out, mister? This is an impressive warthog. He's no spring chicken. You can see from the sort of wear and tear on his tusks and the massive size of those warts, in inverted commas, on his face. Gosh, I don't think we've ever had an opportunity to examine a warthog like this. I hope he's okay. And there's not something wrong with him.
I think he's just being lazy.
Brian thinks he's just being lazy. I think you're right, Brian. Brian and I were just discussing how comfortable it must be to have a lion this morning. Isn't that sweet? This is really, truly impressive. So the warts on his face are not warts at all, obviously, and what distinguishes male from female is the fact that he has 2 sets, and also you'll never see warts this prominent on a female. And only the males really have the ones that stick out this far to the sides, and that's because they're used for defense. So when they fight each other, it's a way of protecting the more sensitive areas, particularly the eyes. And they do fight when warthog rutting season comes along. This is incredible. Wow. I don't think I've ever sat this long with a warthog that isn't a garden warthog. While we watch our warthog having a lazy Tuesday morning lion. Shamson, you want to know what warthogs eat? Plants, mainly. So despite what the Lion King might have led you to believe, in terms of Pumbaa eating all sorts of bugs and grubs, that makes up very little of their diet. Most of it is roots and shoots and leaves. That sounds like a book on grammar. Roots, shoots, leaves, and occasionally tubers that they can dig up. They go down onto their hocks and they dig through. Sorry, struggling a little bit. What was I going to say about warthogs? Oh, they can be quite omnivorous. So they are herbivores, but every now and again they will chew or scavenge off carcasses. So you could find one potentially eating meat, which is an odd thought, but most of the herbivores out here will actually do that, antelope and warthog alike. He's so comfortable in his hole.
I'm going to join him now.
Yeah, coming down to your level, Martin.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, did you get him facing you, John?
Yeah, okay.
Which side, John? Oh, yay, we saw them. Finally. Which way are the females moving? Oh, he's gorgeous. That's all. I've got a bird as well. No, it was a tail.
Yeah, we might see the youngsters. I'll let you know when they come out. There they are. There's two of them, but the one at the back is much younger. You can see that is still a young one. There it goes. So Laurie, there we go. There is the young zebra foal. Wonderful. That's really beautiful. The dust. With the dust and the sunlight on them now. That is a really beautiful scene. Nikki, I want the zebra faster than the wildebeest. Trying to think. Zebra are incredibly quick, but wildebeest are fast too. We'll have to try and find out. I'm just trying to think. I mean, I think the zebra are a little bit quicker than the wildebeest, but I stand to correction. I've never seen them race. So, Nikki, I don't know. I've never seen a zebra and wildebeest race. I'm not sure. They're probably pretty close in terms of speed. If you think of East Africa, now the reason I think of that is with the migration, and those animals are often together, the wildebeest and the zebra, and they get chased by lions regularly, so you see them running. But both species are very, very fast. I'm just not sure which one is quicker. I don't know.
And right here we see the cheetah, or Acinonyx jubatus. The first part of its Latin name, Acinonyx, comes from Latin words that mean something claw. It comes from the fact that unlike other cats, cheetahs actually can't retract their claws. Cheetahs are the fastest land animals in the world, and they can hit speeds of up to 70 miles an hour. Why exactly do they run so fast? Simple. It's to catch their food, which primarily consists of gazelles, impalas, other small antelope, and warthogs and hares. And cheetahs need to eat fast too, so they don't get their kills stolen by larger predators such as lions. Now look at this cheetah's face for some black tear lines. Those act like sunglasses to protect the cheetah's eyes from the hot African sun. If you just look for those black tear lines, you'll never confuse a cheetah with any other cat. Cheetahs have long been kept in captivity ever since Roman times. Even Akbar the Great in India kept cheetahs for hunting. Cheetahs are currently threatened by loss of habitat and for poaching for their fur. They're also said to suffer from a lack of genetic diversity, which makes them more vulnerable to disease. When cheetah cubs are born, they have gray mantles of fur around their necks and backs. It's said to make them look more fearsome to predators. And unlike most big cats, cheetahs cannot roar.
Looks like he could be the dominant male. He is the biggest out of the two big males. Where will these wild dogs take us this afternoon? Brent asked which direction I thought they were going to head in earlier, and it's so difficult to tell with these animals because they often zigzag from side to side and don't necessarily take a set course, a set route when heading out. Such beautiful colors and patterns on their coats, all very different to one another. And they're off. So they're currently heading directly north, which does suit us to a degree, but we'd prefer them to head east onto our property, so right onto off the road, as opposed to left.
Come back with me. Scott's just let me go ahead of him, and then he's going to come up behind us and leapfrog us next. Oh, it looks like they've seen something. They're on the go. They've seen it
down this road towards us, and we are going to get some magical images if they do continue down towards us. Must be a cameraman's best and worst nightmare because there's so much going on. So they've certainly got their work cut out for them, Andrew and Brian. But this is... days like this are what we wait weeks and months for. So if it is your first drive on Safari Live, welcome, and you couldn't have got any better timing than this, because this is some magical action. And there you can see Brent and Brian, who are also here enjoying this with us, which is also something wonderful because, as a lot of you may know, this is Brent's favorite animal.